And as Steve said, today we wanted to do something a little bit different. We wanted to give you some insider knowledge about the cruise brands and about the destinations. Frankly, I have just been on a cruise sailing in the Greek islands, and I have received a lot of messages asking, I would love to go to Santorini. Which cruise brand should I choose? I would really love to see Istanbul, what itineraries go there. And so we figured, since we are not just a travel company, we are truly a community of same-minded people who love to travel, love going on cruises. We wanted to share this knowledge. So when you decide which cruise you want to go on, which brand to choose, or maybe you advise your members, your partners, your friends, people in inCruises, you have a better understanding. What's the difference between MSC and Oceania? What's the difference between Costa and Norwegian? If you want to visit Rome, if you want to visit Alaska, if you want to visit Caribbean, when can we go? When are transatlantic cruises? So we wanted to create this presentation for you. This is a little bit different than what we usually do. So I would really, really appreciate it if you put all your questions, all your comments, all your advices in the chat box. And please let me know if you enjoy this format. Send us hearts, thumbs ups, and everything to encourage you to give you more of this kind of information. Cruise brand knowledge presentation. Now, as you know, inCruises works with a huge variety of different brands, and we are going to bring more brands this upcoming month. But today I would like to mention some of the biggest ones that a lot of our members have sailed or are planning to go on. And I would love to show you guys some videos, some images, so you get the feel of the brand, and then give you some tips about this company for you to understand it for yourself, and then maybe to share it with your community.
What's Thunderstruck on Carnival?
What's Thunderstruck? Thunderstruck is...
Are you guys ready to get thunderstruck?
I am.
Thunderstruck!
That's when you know!
You got Thunderstruck.
Thunderstruck!
Carnival is all about having fun, having a great time, and having a thunderstruck. A couple months ago, Carnival representative Calvin Rodriguez participated in our Insider Advantage. We have a whole presentation saved in our YouTube channel and on our website. So if you want to go back, you have an opportunity to read and learn and listen about Carnival. This company was founded in 1972 in Miami. Their headquarters are actually still in the same place in Miami. And at this moment, the company operates a fleet of 23 ships. The majority of their cruises go out of the United States in the Caribbean, but they do have cruises in Alaska, Hawaii, Australia, and Europe. Carnival Cruise Line is a part of Carnival Corporation, which is at this moment the largest cruise company in the world, meaning it has the most amount of ships in their fleet. What is different about Carnival? Again, it's all about fun. It's all about a party. It really applies for all the ages. You can go with a family. You can go if you're a couple. You can go with your friends. They have a lower price point, so it's very affordable. Their cruises go from very, very short ones, weekend cruises of 3 days, up to 2-3 week cruises. They have a vast a variety of different dining options, especially on newer ships. They have so many different restaurants, so many different cuisines. They have roller coasters on board. They have water slides on board. They have bumper cars on board. So they are very, very family, fun, entertainment oriented. And they go to many different destinations. Now, some news about Carnival. There are 2 ships from Costa Venezia and Costa Firenze. They are now part of Carnival brand. So these 2 ships are going to be rebranded and will be sailing as Costa by Carnival. So it's very new and very interesting for all of us. There are 2 new ships coming out very soon. Actually, Carnival Mardi Gras started sailing not too long ago, and we already had some of our members, some of our territory directors. This territory director is gonna reveal herself right now, who already went on Carnival Mardi Gras. These are brand new ships with roller coasters and with water slides. Carnival Celebration is coming out in 2022. The naming ceremony is going to be in November. So some of the representatives of inCruises will be there. So we will be able to really show you this new ship. And there is one more Carnival Jubilee coming out in 2023. So these new ships are really big. There are a lot of things to do on these ships, and they will be sailing in the Caribbean. Parts of the video about Princess. By the way, all these videos that I'm showing today are available on YouTube. You can easily find them if you want to include them in your presentations, if you want to share them with your members, partners, friends, family. They're very, very easy to find. So Princess brand is very popular amongst our inCruises family. It was first founded in 1965 with only one ship that cruised to Mexico, and then it expanded into this beautiful brand. It is very famous in the United States because it was a set for a very famous TV show called The Love Boat. Actually, every single crew member who works on any ship always says that they went to be a crew member because of this show. So it's very funny little detail about Princess. At this moment, this brand has the fleet of 15 ships, and Princess really sails all around the world. You can find a Princess cruise in the Caribbean, in Alaska, in Asia, in Europe, and Australia. I was just last week in Santorini, and we were docked with Princess. We were anchored right next to the Princess ship. As you could see from the video, Princess brand is a little bit more elevated, a little bit more luxurious. It is also part of the Carnival Corporation. It is her sister brand, but as I said, it will be a little bit more different vibe when you step on this beautiful brand. Now, Princess has always claimed to be an extremely innovative company. They throughout their existence, they've come up with a variety of different new features. As you can see in the presentation, from the verandas on board, the special balconies, they now have the highest percentage of balconies cabins in the industry. They also were the first company who introduced the flexible onboard facilities and amenities. So guests could really choose when to go have their dinner, when to go watch the show. And one of the newest features that they have introduced is the Ocean Medallion. Those of you who have sailed with Princess probably know it is a little medallion that you can wear as a pendant or as a bracelet. And with this medallion, you're connected with the ship. You can, order your food and drinks. You can book your excursions. You can have your champagne being delivered to anywhere on board. You can pay for your shopping experience. You can open the cabin. So Princess is very, very innovative, and this is one of the newest features. They always claim to have exceptional service. They have beautiful restaurants on board, beautiful venues on board, and it is a very elegant and very upscale fleet. If you have cruised with Princess, let us know what you think and what you loved about this brand. Again, Princess really applies to everybody, from families to couples. Age range goes from 35 to 65 and older, and they do have different cruises, starting from short cruises going up to world sailings that last over 100 days. Amongst the news, Princess has just announced a new class of ships. I hope you understand what is the class. That means this is the shape of the ship, the class of the ship, and then the company can have 3, 4, 5 ships the same model. So Princess has introduced a new Sphere class, so it will be a brand new ship. We don't know how she's going to look, what venues are going to be there. So everybody in the industry is very, very excited. Well, I see a message that somebody is actually on a Princess cruise right now. Please let us know what you think about this beautiful brand. So Princess will have, yes?
Did you know the new Love Boat series is going to air?
I was just about to mention that as well.
Okay.
Actually, if you go to Princess website, the first thing you see is that they are putting a new reality show. I think it's not a TV show, it's a reality show, right? Like a Love Island. So it's
it is, exactly. Yeah.
Reality show for, I guess, people to find love. And it will be filmed on board a Princess ship. So once that comes out, we will let you know. I'm pretty sure we will be watching it. Steve, a huge fan of reality shows, right, Steve?
Well, not so much. But this one, I think, starts next week. There's been a lot of
very exciting. We
yeah.
will be watching. All right, next brand. So the next brand that I will talk about is MSC. MSC stands for Mediterranean Shipping Company. Actually, I'm going to have a test for you guys at the end of this presentation. We will see who was listening carefully. Mediterranean Shipping Company was founded in 1989. Actually, the family owned shipping vessels for the past 250 years. MSC started as a cargo shipping brand and then expanded into the cruising. It is currently the largest privately owned cruise brand and the fourth largest cruise line in the world. And MSC is extremely popular amongst our inCruise members. So again, please let us know if you have cruised with MSC, what you loved about this brand. I already see that somebody's madly in love with MSC, and we're not surprised. It is a great brand. Currently, MSC has 19 ships. The ships are sailing all over the world. You will find itineraries in the Mediterranean, in the Caribbean, in South America, in the Red Sea, in the Middle East, and the Northern Europe. They have world cruises. So MSC is truly one of the few companies that sails where not that many other brands go. And that is why we very often choose them. What is really, really different about the brand, what defines the brand, that it's extremely international. When I cruised on MSC for the first time, I was amazed by the amount of international clients, not only personnel, not only the staff on the ship, but actually passengers from all over the world were on board the ship. And that makes your experience very international. They have international entertainment, they have excursions in different languages, they have internationally inspired cuisine. So it is very different compared to a lot of other brands. MSC is very family oriented. Again, I'm pretty sure it can apply to any age group. You know, if you're traveling with kids, if you're traveling with your parents, it doesn't really matter. I'm pretty sure everybody will have a great time on board of one of MSC cruises. Another thing that is very different in MSC is that they have very different embarkation ports. So what I mean that usually if you're going on the cruise, you have one embarkation and disembarkation port. MSC, you can get on in different ports throughout a week. I hope that was understandable. So there's not only one port to get on and off at the beginning and end of the cruise. The cruise continues and you can really disembark and embark in different locations. MSC also has introduced the Yacht Club. If you have traveled with Yacht Club, it is a great experience. They call it a ship within a ship. It's an elevated experience, more luxurious VIP suite class. And their cruises and itineraries usually average between 5 and 7 days. However, you can find longer cruises, and MSC also offers world cruises that last about 200, 300 days if you want to go on one of those. News about this brand. MSC World Europa will set sail in December 2022. The ship is being built right now in France, and after that, she will go directly to the Middle East. She will be in Qatar for a few weeks, and then we'll start sailing between United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Oman, and all this beautiful region. Another new ship, MSC Seascape, is coming out in November 2022 and will be sailing in the Caribbean. And the third new ship, MSC Arabia, will set sail in June 2023. So we are still waiting to see how this new ship will look like and where she's going to go. MSC is also one of the fastest growing companies. Actually, there are 3 more world-class ships being built, and they will set sail up till 2027.
I want to break free.
Imagine a place where we can finally be free. Free to Zoom without a meeting request. Free to enjoy savory bites and stunning sights. And free to reunite with old friends and new. It's time to break free.
I want to break free. I want to
Ready to break free? Plan your future getaway with Norwegian Cruise Line. Sail safe, feel free.
All right, the next brand is Norwegian Cruise Line. Again, very, very popular amongst our members. It is an American brand, was founded in 1966, and it is headquartered in Miami. As you can see, majority of cruise lines have their headquarters in Florida. Some of them are in Seattle, in Washington, and some of them are in Europe. Right now, Norwegian has a fleet of 18 ships, including the brand new Norwegian Prima that we will talk about in a second. And Norwegian also operates all over the world. You will find Norwegian ships in the Caribbean, in Alaska, in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, in South America, and they have incredible cruises going to Hawaii as well. Norwegian is extremely family oriented. Again, if you're traveling with kids, they have incredible kids programs where you can literally leave your children in the kids club for a week and then pick them up at the end of the cruise. That was a joke. Don't do that. It is very contemporary. It is very comfortable accommodations. They have incredible entertainment. If I'm not mistaken, Norwegian has won multiple awards for having the best performances. They have Broadway class shows on board their ships. They have upscale culinary experience, and they also have the Heaven, which is again the exclusive, luxurious VIP suite experience on board Norwegian cruise. Now, Norwegian is a great brand if you want to see innovations as well, if you want to see luxurious venues, beautiful restaurants. They have unbelievable stages where they have their performances, and they have just released their new class of ships. Norwegian Prima is going to start sailing in 2022, and the same class, Norwegian Viva, will set sail in 2023. They also have 4 more ships coming out. Norwegian has really big ships, about 4,000 to 6,000 passengers capacity, but these new ships are a little bit smaller, so they're trying to create a more elevated, a little bit more private experience. And I actually wanted to show you the new Norwegian Prima that just came out recently. And I wanted to show you this video about the ship's christening that took place in Reykjavik, Iceland. in this video, you might have seen a few familiar faces, and I'm not talking about Katy Perry, who is actually the godmother of the ship, but we also had our own superstars. We had Steve, and we had Hudge, and we had Frank Cadena. They all sailed on Norwegian Prima for the christening ceremony. So Steve, if you could please add a few things about this incredible ship.
Sure. Can you hear me? Okay, good. So I mean, I've been on a lot of christening events over the years in the industry, and this was truly remarkable. Starting with beginning it in Iceland, bringing everybody to such a great destination to christen the ship, and I think we'll see more of this because they haven't revealed where Viva will be christened and named, but it will be another iconic, special destination where they start the voyage. Then it was 8 nights long, which is usually these christening events are 2, 3, maybe 4 nights, but to have 8 nights to really get to know and enjoy the ship. And this ship's a game changer. I think you've heard probably Frank and Hutch say this in some of their videos. I mean, Norwegian Cruise Line really, we like to use the word elevate, next level. I mean, that's what this ship is. It's not the biggest ship out there. Bigger is not always better. Carries 3,100 passengers. The cabins, the showers in the cabins, when you think about the standard cabins that you go into on a cruise ship, that extra space that they give you by having a good sized ship but carrying less passengers, phenomenal. It was, I mean, everybody noticed it on board. Everybody was talking about it. The entertainment, there's no secret why Katy Perry, was chosen to be the godmother ship, because the entertainment that they have on board, starting with the Donna Summers series, is really phenomenal. 3 stories of racing go-karts. There's $20 million of art sculptures on their ocean walk deck. So this is the deck 8. You can walk completely around the ship on deck 8. It extends out. This is where they have the cantilevered pools or infinity pools off the deck there. We were in the North Atlantic, so not too many people were outside. It was a little chilly when you're sailing in those very, very cold winds and rough seas. But you never felt crowded on the ship. I mean, everybody was forced to be inside, not out on the decks, and it never felt crowded. There's just remarkable space on the ship. The Haven, right? Tati talked about the yacht club being a ship in the ship. NCL has started, or Norwegian Cruise Line has been really an innovator over the years in the cruise industry. NCL, by the way, was the first one that introduced a private island. Now every cruise line is doing that. NCL introduced the first mega ship. It was the Norway. It was an old ship, and they bought it, but they thought there's no way you're going to fill this ship. They did. So, now they also were the innovator of the Suite Enclave, or the ship within the ship, which is the Haven. And on this particular ship, the Haven's over 200 cabins. It takes up pretty much the back third of the ship across multiple decks there. So the Haven has its own restaurant, its own sun deck, its own grill, its own pool, its own bar. You have to be a cabin. You have to purchase that particular cabin and be staying in one of those suites in order to access the Haven out there. So, I mean, I could go on and on and on about how great Prima is, but the great news, gang, is there's 5 more ships coming out just like it. And I would challenge you in 2023, if you want to break out of those of you that are just MSC, junkies, and MSC is a great brand. I'm not saying, but try something else. Try another brand out there, right? And see what the difference is in there. This is what our cruise club, our in club, allows you to do, is save and go on more cruises than you normally would. Okay, I'll pause. You're muted, Tati.
Thank you. I was saying that is also one of the reasons why we created this presentation is really for you to see the difference between different brands and to maybe try something new and something that you might have been opposed to, but now you can see how extremely exciting it is to try this variety of brands. I mean, we're talking Norwegian, we're talking Princess, Carnival. We will talk about more brands in the next presentation. So I just would really love it if you guys could let us know if this was helpful. And we will create one more presentation about the rest of the brands. Please write it in the comments. It is very, very important for us. And so the second part of this Insider Advantage webinar will be about destinations. Now, we decided to enter this again because I saw people who were discussing transatlantic cruises. When can they go? I saw people who wanted to book their European cruises in the middle of December, people who wanted to go to Alaska in January. So we wanted to give you a little bit of expertise on the regions and where you can go and when you can go there. So let's start with one of the most popular destinations, which is Caribbean. I'm pretty sure this is the #1 largest and most popular destination in the world. And when you book a Caribbean cruise, you will find sailings all year long, but the high season, the peak season, is between October and April. The reason behind it is, of course, the weather. It's not super hot. It doesn't rain that much. So if you are planning to cruise in the Caribbean, if you want to escape from cold weather wherever you are, choose a time between October and April. The most popular embarkation ports, if you're going to the Caribbean, is going to be Miami, right over here. You will find Fort Lauderdale. It's a little bit up north. You will find Port Canaveral, where Steve lives, a little bit further north. You will find Galveston. You can't see on this map, but it is in Texas. New Orleans, right here. And actually Tampa, where I live, hopefully after the hurricane as well, which is right over here. So majority of embarkation ports are in Florida, but you will also find some in Texas and in Louisiana. Now, when you look at the Caribbean cruises, you will see Eastern Caribbean and Western Caribbean. And I get a lot of questions about that because people don't really understand the difference. Now, this is the map of the Caribbean Sea. And if you think about Eastern and Western, you can approximately draw a line somewhere over here and divide these two areas. Again, this is very approximate. You might find a cruise that goes to both. You can find a cruise that stays on one side or the other. But this is just for you to really understand the concept of Eastern and Western Caribbean. Now, Western Caribbean, also sometimes called continental Caribbean, because here most of your cruises will go to Mexico. You will see Cozumel or Costa Maya on your cruise. You will see Honduras, Roatan. You might stop in Jamaica. You might stop in the Bahamas, Haiti, Cayman. All of that will be Western Caribbean. Everything on the eastern side of this line will be your Eastern Caribbean. We called it Island Caribbean or Lesser Antilles. So all these little islands that you see right over here, they will all fall into Eastern Caribbean. So if you want to visit Barbados, St. Lucia, Martinique, St. Kitts, St. Martin, Grenada, all of these islands will be on the Eastern Caribbean. Once again, you might find cruises that go to both, but just for you to have a geographical understanding. And now there is a third destination here, which is called Southern Caribbean, which is located right over here in the south. So here, if you go on this cruise, you would typically get right over here. You would typically get so-called ABC islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, which are great for diving if you're a diver. These cruises would go to Cartagena in Colombia. Some of them will go to Panama, and some of them will even do the Panama Canal. So as you can see, there are a lot of varieties of cruises in the Caribbean. The duration can be really different. You can go on a 3-day cruise to the Bahamas. You can go on a 14-day cruise all around the Lesser Antilles. You can go through the Panama Canal, a lot of different options. And majority of the cruise lines will be in this region. Yes, Steve.
Yeah, I was just going to add a couple things. I think you can hear me. Important to know, if you want to leave from Miami, you really have Eastern and Western to go to. If you want to go to Southern Caribbean, there's very few cruises. They're usually longer. If you want to get down into those islands in Grenada or Martinique, Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, the ABC Islands, you need to fly. For those who are in the U.S., they can get to Florida pretty easily. But anybody coming from Europe and other parts where our inCruises family is, you're going to fly anywhere. But you fly to Puerto Rico. There's certainly cruises that leave from Puerto Rico that head down to those islands. There's also cruises leaving from La Romana. Costa has a Caribbean cruise. They got out of the Caribbean market for a while, but La Romana, and then there's some that even start from Barbados and down there. So you're going to start on one of those islands, and we highly recommend that, anytime people don't think of it as Miami and Port Canaveral or Tampa as a destination, but when you go to Puerto Rico, you think that is an island that, because your cruise is starting there, you're going to have all this, you're going to get to experience Puerto Rico. Well, you need to add time on. You need to spend a night or two there before, because the cruise is really, the cruise line doesn't offer you anything except getting on the ship and getting off the ship in Puerto Rico. So, the Caribbean's complex. There's a lot to see and do there. But Tati did a great job of breaking it down. In 7 nights, you can go Western, and 7 nights you can go Eastern, and 7 nights you can go Southern. It's more about kind of, what experience do you want to have? A lot of history in the Western, a lot of small islands in the Eastern Caribbean, right? Okay.
That is actually also one other question that I get very often. This is our first cruise. Where should we go? Should we go to the Caribbean? Should we go to the Mediterranean? And this is actually something that I also wanted to mention. Wherever you're cruising, it will be a completely different experience. If you're cruising to, let's say, Martinique or Barbados or St. Lucia, you will probably spend majority of your time on the beach or in the water. You will go hiking in the mountains. You will go zip lining. You will go swimming with dolphins. You will do very natural activities. Yes, there are tours that will take you to some historic sites. For example, in Mexico, you can go see the Mayan pyramids. And we actually have a travel blog about Mexico, so don't forget to read those. But that will be a very active, very island beach lifestyle kind of trip. So if that is something that you're looking for, this is what you will get in the Caribbean. And I actually have a video for you about that.
Go ahead and believe, time to feel free on an island in the sea. Got me feeling like, oh, oh, oh. Got me feeling that island beat. Go ahead and believe, time to feel free on an island in the sea. Got me feeling like, oh, oh, oh. Got me feeling that island breeze. I got my feet in the water, feeling the breeze through the air. I'm on the island top, nothing above but blue skies, palm trees and warm sand everywhere. Welcome to paradise. Just got laid back vibes. I'm gonna turn it up, unwind it.
So this is kind of the vibe of the Caribbean cruise if you're trying to go to this kind of destination with your family. Now, the next very popular destination for our inCruises members and inCruises family is the Persian Gulf. I have to be very honest with you. I have never cruised in that itinerary. So I will only tell you what I know from books. I hope that will change very soon. Cruises in that region typically start in November and the high season ends around March. However, you can find sailings up until May. Reason behind it, again, the weather, it gets really, really hot during summertime. So if you're escaping from cold from the north, come to this region in the wintertime. The most popular embarkation port is Dubai, but you can also find cruises that go from Abu Dhabi or Doha. These cruise itineraries will hit Oman, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. There's a lot of history there. There are a lot of sightseeing that you can do. There is a lot of cultural experience, a lot of food, a lot of exciting things to see. But you can also spend some time in the pool, on the beach, relaxing and enjoying this beautiful region. The itineraries are typically 7 days. Some of them are a little bit shorter, but it would usually be a 1-week vacation. You will not see that many cruise lines that sail in Persian Gulf. That would be MSC, Costa. You will find Seabourn, Oceania, Princess, and Norwegian. Sounds like a lot, but they would only have 1 or 2 ships here and there. Steve, have you been in this itinerary? Have you done this kind of cruise?
We tried many times with our global summit, and it kept getting Omicron kept getting in our way on it. But I've been to Abu Dhabi, I've been to Dubai, and the thing is with that itinerary, you get a lot of port time because the ships they're not traveling, they're not having to travel as far between ports. So you're getting overnights in Dubai, you're getting overnights in Abu Dhabi, and then day calls to Doha and Muscat, typically. I was just going to add that the 7-night rotations, that's really going to be limited to Costa and MSC, and they have very large ships there, so there's a lot of inventory on those large ships. The other ones that Tati mentioned, they're usually repositioning and they're touching in the Persian Gulf on longer segments somewhere, but the only 2 that do a regular rotation for 3 to 4 months are going to be those 2 cruise lines.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a cruise in this area this year, definitely look at these 2 brands in January and February. Also wanted to show you a video to give you the vibe of this vacation. I also try to use different cruise lines for different destinations. So it's not just MSC that goes there. You will definitely find Costa that sails out of Dubai. So definitely look at all the different options when you look for your cruise. One more destination that I want to talk about briefly is the Mediterranean. We all know that it is #1 destination for our inCruise members. We all love the Mediterranean. The season is typically between April and October. It gets kind of chilly in October. You can still go, but you probably won't get in the water at that time. And same in the beginning of spring as well. So the peak season would be probably July and August. You might see a lot of people. So I would recommend, in my opinion, the best time to go on the Mediterranean cruise is May or September. There are not that many people. There are not that many crowds. The weather is perfect. And I mean, it's always beautiful in the Med. Now, you will also find a separation between Western Med and Eastern Med. Now, again, I'm going to draw a line that goes somewhere here in the middle of Italy. That would, in your head, would give you a better understanding. We have Western Med on this side. It would typically be Portugal, Spain, France, and the west coast of Italy. You will see Malta here, you will see Sicily, you will see Corsica, Sardinia, all these islands. Mallorca is also somewhere here. And then on the Eastern Mediterranean, you will have Istanbul, Turkey, you will have all the Greek Isles, you will have Cyprus right over here, you will have Croatia, you will have Montenegro, you will have Venice, you will have Bari. That will all be considered Eastern Med. Let me put this away so you don't get confused. So there are so many embarkation ports. Probably the most popular ones are Barcelona, Genova, Rome, and Naples for Western. And then on the Eastern side would be Venice, Athens, and Istanbul at this time. I got this question from somebody. I would really love to go to Santorini. Where do I go? So if you want to cruise to the Greek Isles, that would be Eastern Med. That would be a cruise probably from Greece or Turkey. I would love to go to Mallorca. That is Spain. So you would probably look for a Western cruise out of Barcelona. Again, this is very approximate. You will find cruises that go to various destinations, but this is just more for you to have a better understanding of what is where. Now, if you go on a Mediterranean cruise, that will be more of a cultural experience. I would highly recommend to go on tours and excursions to really learn the history, the culture of the country. I mean, if you're in Athens, go see the Parthenon. If you're in Rome, go see Colosseum. There's just so much to learn, so many things to see. But you can also spend some time in the water, on the beach. They're beautiful islands. Again, Rhodes has incredible beaches. Mallorca has incredible beaches. So that would be more of experience, culture, and leisure at the same time. The duration of these cruises would start from, I would say, 5-7 days, and then can go on and on and on. I mean, you can spend 3 months in the Mediterranean just exploring all these beautiful ports, and it's really, really hard to choose which one is the best one. Also, I feel like a lot of our inCruises members have done the Mediterranean cruises. So if you could share your experience, if you could share your knowledge, that is always very highly appreciated. And I wanted to show you a video about cruising in the Mediterranean.
Now do what you do, get loud, go ahead, get loose, get down to business, tell everyone, nothing's off
Now, a
Look at
quick
that.
test.
Costa's stepping up their videos.
I know,
Love it.
isn't it great? Who was listening careful and who can guess if this was a video about a Western Mediterranean or Eastern Mediterranean? Let's see. Eastern Mediterranean or Western Mediterranean? Please write your comments. All right. We have the winner already, but keep writing. Okay, so yes, it is all about a cultural experience, incredible food, beautiful historic sites. I mean, I spent every summer 5 years in a row working on the cruise ship in the Mediterranean, and you can never, ever get enough. And if you have done one itinerary, there's definitely 10 more that you can experience. And basically every cruise line, every cruise company will have ships in this region. So there is definitely a variety of options. Look through all of them. There are many possibilities, and there is definitely something for everybody. All right. One last destination that I wanted to mention is the Northern Europe. This map is quite small, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you will know what I'm talking about. The Northern Europe would be in the north of Europe. The season is, again, mid-April to mid-October. It gets quite chilly in the fall, so choose summer months. That would be the best time to explore this region. And here, when I talk about Northern Europe, you can find a cruise to Norway, Norwegian fjords. You can find a cruise to Iceland. You can find a cruise to Ireland. You can find a cruise to Bruges. You can find a cruise to Amsterdam, Copenhagen, Stockholm, Helsinki. For obvious reasons, there are no cruises to St. Petersburg, Russia at this time. But this is also a very beautiful destination. Maybe in the future, we will have ships going there again. Your embarkation ports would be Copenhagen, Southampton, Oslo, or Reykjavik for more northern cruises. And the ships will typically go either to the Baltic Sea or down this way, closer to Portugal. I mean, there are a lot of things to see. You can visit Paris, you can visit Amsterdam, you can visit London. There are even some cruises that do these itineraries during winter time. So you can go there for Christmas. Not that many, but you can find some of those as well. And typically the cruises are between 7 and 9 days, just because there are so many things to see. Again, it will be a very cultural experience, not much time to spend on the beach or go swimming. If you want to try it, you can definitely do it in Iceland, but there is a lot of cultural activity here as well.
I would add one embarkation port that wasn't on there, which is Kiel, Germany. Is quite popular for a couple of cruise lines.
Kiel as well. Yeah. So anything basically here, Copenhagen, that side of the continent. And I wanted to show you a video again to kind of get a feel of this destination. I actually see someone's comment that Ludmila is going traveling from Germany, from Hamburg for 7 days on a luxury vacation. So I hope you have a great time in the Northern Europe. I hope the weather is nice there. It's sunny and it's warm, and you get to really experience this region. One important thing that I also want to mention, when you book your cruise, please make sure you know all the ports that the ship is docking at and how far those ports are from your desired destination. Let me explain this. For example, you want to visit Athens. Athens doesn't have a port because it is inland. The port of Athens is called Piraeus. If you want to visit Paris, Paris is not on the water. Steve, what's the name of the Paris port?
Le Havre.
See, we are experts here. Again, you need to know these things. Rome doesn't have a port. It's not on the water. The port of Rome is called Civitavecchia. So please make sure you know where you're going, because when I worked on cruises, then the amount of time people came to me and asked if they can get off the ship and see the Eiffel Tower is beyond explanation. So please make sure you know all the ports, you know where they go, how to get to your destination, so you are truly prepared to have the best vacation. Last thing, super quick, transatlantic crossings are happening in the Atlantic Ocean and go between Europe and Americas, like this. Very easy. These are typically repositioning cruises, meaning that a ship was in Europe for the summertime, and now the ship is going to the Caribbean for the winter time. The ship was in, let's say, Alaska, and then the ship is going back to Northern Europe. You will find transatlantic cruise in the middle of spring and in the middle of fall. So April, May, October, November. A really cool thing that happens when you do transatlantic is that you get to stop in the Canary Islands that are right over here, or you get to, which belong to Spain, or you get to stop in Azores, which is part of Portugal, and Azores are right over here. Frankly, Azore Islands is probably one of the most unique places that I have ever been to. I mean, the nature there is unbelievable, but you can guess because it's in the middle of the ocean. Transatlantic cruises are also super fun. They are between 10 and 14 days. You can relax on the deck. You can go watch shows every day. You can eat in every restaurant 5 times a day, and transatlantic cruises are definitely super fun. Super fun experience to have as well. So depending on what you like, millions of options, and we have them all on our inCruises page. If you like this format, once again, please let us know, because we haven't talked about all the brands. We still have Costa, we still have Oceania, we still have more cruise lines that are coming up next month that we want to mention. And of course, the destinations. We haven't talked about South America. We haven't talked about Alaska. We haven't talked about Red Sea, Asia. So please let us know. We would love to prepare another presentation for you, but also let us know if you have any questions, and we would love to have a Q&A as well. All right, I see many messages here.
Yeah, there's several about Asia, what's in Asia now. And, everybody pulled out of Asia for 2022, 2023. That's typically the time of year that they're positioning ships over there. Australia is kicking off. So there's sailings from Australia. Carnival Luminosa is steaming over there now. It's going to be starting there. But in latter 2023, we will see some. Princess has got a pretty significant amount of inventory that they have in Asia, and so I'm just gonna spill the beans here, Tati. That we're also. I mean, we have a lot to talk about right now, and it's very exciting times, right? In cruises. So we're going to do another Insider Advantage in 2 weeks. So it'll be on the 13th of October. That'll be a Friday. I don't know if we settled on a time yet, or Tati, but we'll make sure we bring in.
We'll let you know.
These destinations that we haven't covered yet, and specifically Asia, because Asia is an important destination and is an important source market for inCruises, but for certain. So we look forward to having those conversations. And then some other things that people were asking about, Tati, was like, we can drill down to, it doesn't necessarily need to be ship specific, but what are especially those that are first time cruisers, what cabin locations do you want to be careful from? Right? I can think of a few based on my experience there. What are some of the first things you should do when you book a cruise? What are some of the first things you should do when you step on board a cruise, right? Because there are opportunities that sell out. And these are some of the, so I think we should talk about some of those types of things that are, down to the cruiser level. And, right now we're focusing on itineraries and brands. Okay, well, now that you've made that selection, what do you do to maximize your experience, right? So we'll incorporate some of those there. And lastly, because it's already quarter after the hour, I think we've got the moderators have taken a lot of notes on questions, and we will get to work right away on a frequently asked questions, and then we will share these with the territory growth directors so they can be spread out that way. We will find a place to list these in a location so that, and some of the videos, maybe we can put video links into the same FAQ document, because a lot of people are looking for these videos, and most of them are on YouTube. There's some that aren't, but maybe we can store those somewhere and create a link for them.
Absolutely. We will put together a Q&A because we've been receiving all these messages through our moderators. If you want us to touch on something, our next Insider Advantage, the announcements typically go out on our Instagram page and our mail list. So, if you use Instagram, just go to inCruises and you will find this beautiful picture of Steve and I, and then you can write your comments. We always read your questions, and we always try to respond. So, sometimes these messages disappear and we don't have time to respond, but here they stay. So please make sure to take advantage of our inCruises Instagram page and write your questions and requests there, please. All right, I think that should be all for today. Do you want to touch up on something else, or should we just do it in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think in 2 weeks. I would just say thank you to the translators. Hopefully we didn't make your life too difficult today. We appreciate you very much. We couldn't do this without you. And thank you for everybody for attendance. I think we had a good group of people that hung around for a long time, which is great. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Stay safe wherever you are. Stay happy, stay grateful, stay close to your family, and God bless everybody. Have a great week.
See you soon.
Bye.